All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today, this beautiful Tuesday, as we get close to wrapping up the month of December. Let's get to it, man. As always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper. Let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. Real quick, just drop me a one in the chat if you can hear me okay and there are no echoes. Testing a couple things out here. So I just want to make sure I'm coming through good. All right, beautiful. Appreciate it. Drop that down. Cool. All right. So, got a few things to update us on from a fundamental perspective. Aussie meeting minutes. Bank of Japan dropped their interest rate decision. So let's get to it, man. Over to trading economics. Boom. All right. So um let me refresh here. All right. There we go. All right. So Bank of Japan, they maintain its key short-term rates at negative 0.1%, and that of the 10-year bond yield around 0% in the final meeting of the year, widely expected, and offered no guidance whether it would switch policy next year. The central bank also left unchanged loose upper band 1% set for long-term government yield. Right. So we've been talking about this for a while, right? And this decision in those in the statement, um, all they said was we're gonna maintain the rate and we're gonna maintain this loose monetary policy. And if we need to make additional action to ensure that we reach this 2% target sustainably, will do so. Meaning they're willing to stay at this 1%, negative 1% for a period of time, right? And so what we see in the markets is a response to that. They didn't give any future guidance on, yes, we could be changing policy, what that would look like, as those talks have leaked in the past. They didn't give any of that future guidance, right? And we know the Bank of Japan, they do a really good job of talking the market in one direction or the other, right? And this was them basically saying, hold your horses, right? So we're seeing the yen um, lose a little bit of that strength that it had, but because of what we've been talking about, it all makes sense, right? It all makes sense. So that's key. We'll take a look at some of those yen crosses and see what those look like and where those pairs are coming into play, along with some of our setups over the weekend. And we had Euro area inflation rate confirmed, and inflation rate in the euro decreased to 2.4% in November, the lowest since July 2021 from 2.9 in October, and in line with the preliminary release. Prices rose at a slower pace for services and industrial goods and food, alcohol, and tobacco. Also, energy prices fell slightly, slightly more, confirmed at 3.6%, the lowest reading since April 2022. Whoops, my bad. Meanwhile, the core inflation, which excludes price, energy, food, alcohol, was confirmed at 3.6, the lowest since April 2022. December, however, inflation is likely to pick up on account of an upward base effect for cost of energy. ECB President Lagarde said during the regular press conference after the ECB monetary policy decision. In 2024, the central bank expects inflation to decline more slowly because of further upward base effects and the phasing out of past fiscal measures aimed at limiting repercussions of the energy price shock. All right. So inflation rate was confirmed out of the ECB, and it's not on here. We'll take a look at it when we look at the calendar. We'll talk about the meeting minutes for the Reserve Bank of Australia that occurred yesterday. Here we go. Meeting minutes. So those are released. What the conversation essentially was should they increase rates by 25 basis points, or should they keep them the same? So they did have that conversation. So the Reserve Bank of Australia is looking at all the data, right? Everything is still data dependent, but they are looking at the potential to have to increase rates at some point, again, to ensure that they reach their target. So that was kind of some of the big notes coming out of those meeting minutes. Let's change this to this week. And then later today, we got CPI for the Canadian dollar. We have building permits and housing starts for the dollar. FOMC member Barkin speaks at 9:30. FOMC member Bostic speaks at 12:30. Those could be interesting conversations. Governor Orr out of New Zealand speaks at 2 o'clock. Another FOMC member speaking at 6 p.m. tonight. Then over to Wednesday, we got CPI for the pound, consumer confidence for the dollar, crude inventories. We'll take a look at oil. Get a nice little push there. Benny posted an article regarding some expansion of the war in Israel. Then we have Canadian dollar retail sales on Thursday, the U.S. final GDP and unemployment claims for the dollar on Thursday, and then Friday retail sales, GDP for the Canadian dollar, core PCE for the dollar, and then U of M consumer sentiment. So we got members speaking and data coming out that could give us a little bit of volatility as we close out everything coming into the Christmas holiday. So that is where we sit. Are there any questions from a fundamental perspective? Nope. All right, cool deal. Let's hop over to these charts and see what they are telling us. See what they're telling us. Let's take a look at the dollar first. Let's see the dollar. Overall, right, the dollar was pushing down. This on the daily time frame. We finally took out that A boundary, and we're getting a little bounce here now. So our capital fib was here, right? And we had this 80-20 scenario on the DXY, but we pushed to that D extension, and we bounced back above this previous daily support level, right? So now we have a new support level here, and we're kind of left in a bit of indecision, trying to push to the upside a bit, but not a ton, right? Coming down to the 4. This is what that looks like. So we're pulling back a little bit, but we're also starting to get a bit stagnant. Okay. So again, we could see some volatility with some of the data this week. But as we get closer to Christmas, we'll see things start to level out and slow down as folks step out on vacation and spend time with their family. So that's where we are though from a dollar perspective. Trying to get a push to the upside, but it's slow moving. All right. So that is the DXY. I want to pop over to this dollar yen, which we had a setup coming out of Saturday, and boom, right? Over 300 pips to the upside with that news out of the Bank of Japan, right? Saturday, we had price sitting in this range here, right? And then we got the escalation to the upside. So 300 pip move to the upside, TP2 completed. Not sure if anybody hopped into that trade on Sunday or was in it Thursday, Friday of last week, but beautiful move to the upside. Now we sit and wait and see. We're coming into some previous support levels here. and we'll watch and see how the market responds at these levels. All right. Coming back to the 4 hour, right? We're talking about waiting on high prices and seeing how things go. But this is where we are, right? We're coming into deep retracement zone on that 4 hour AB boundary. So we'll watch and see how deep this goes. We could, based on that data out of the Bank of Japan, we could see this just continue to push to the upside, right? We could see it continue to push higher. I'm going to bounce back to the daily. Let's look at it from a daily perspective, right? We had this nice long move to the downside, and you see we're recovering and pushing back long. So, um, my thoughts on this, from a yen perspective, is we could see this rise for a bit, right? Coming back to some of these higher levels that we broke down from. Do we get to the D extension? We may, right? Depending on how the Bank of Japan opens up the month of January. But I think we at least get a nice deep retracement here on this daily down fib, right? Back to a 618 retracement level, maybe a little bit deeper. We'll see if we ultimately get to that D extension there at 152, right? If in January, Bank of Japan continues to not give any further future guidance, then we could see this continue to ride long and get to that daily D extension, right? And if we get some things that cause the DXY to push to the upside, that could also cause this to ride long for a little while longer. So that's something we'll keep our eyes on to see what tidbits get leaked from future meetings from Japan and how things go. So, but 300 pips nonetheless to start the week for the dollar yen. Any questions on this pair? Nope. All right. All right. All right. So let's take a look at I want to take a look at a couple of these dollar pairs as well that we've been watching. It's pound dollars on the go coming out of Saturday. We had a couple scenarios here. We'll come top down. From a daily time frame perspective, right, we pushed up to this level. We're bouncing back and forth here on this daily fib. We got to this 382 level. We're pushing back to the upside. I forgot I was doing some work here. So let me clear this out real quick. My bad. I forgot I was doing some work on this chart. So we'll complete our top-down analysis. We'll bring these weekly and monthly levels down. Boom. We'll come to the daily. We'll drop in our daily levels. We'll remove the fib. There we go. Let's do our daily support and resistance levels. Real quick. Resistance. Shoot. Resistance here. Resistance level there. Another there. We got support here, there, and there. All right. Cool deal. Now let's take these levels down to our lower time frame. And team, if anybody's on Instagram, if you guys could go over to Instagram when you get some free time and follow our Instagram page. We're trying to increase our social engagement to drive more folks to the inner circle. So when you get some time, hop over there and follow our page there. So this is where we are from a daily time frame perspective. There we are in the fib. We did come just shy of that 382 on this push to the upside. Now we're running into a level of daily resistance And now we got some action here, right? So we come down to the 4-hour and we look at things from a longer term perspective, right? There's an AB boundary coming off of the bottom, right? Coming off of the low there. And that's where we sit from a AB boundary perspective. We'll see what happens as we sit in this range for a bit, right? But you see on the day we're pushing to the upside, okay? So now as we come down to the 1, this is where we had an 80-20 scenario, or one of the 80-20 scenarios. Boom, right? A shallow retracement pushing to the 118 and 127 zone and a ride into the upside. We are, looks like we're just shy of that TP1 level, but we're getting close, right? That almost hit that TP1 level. So this was a beautiful move to the upside. We talked about it on Saturday, along with the 15-minute setup as well. Um, There's a stop loss there. And there's the move to TP1. So this was the 1-hour setup here. Okay. We also had a 15-minute setup that pushed to the D extension. That's the one that I posted in the Discord on Monday, Sunday or Monday. But there's the move there, right? So off of that low, looking at 71 pips to that TP1 level, beautiful scenario. Coming down to the 15, this is the one that I posted in the Discord, which pushed to the D extension, then immediately turned around. This move here. Boom. No, that's not it actually. Oh, because that's 15. That's why. Boom. Let's see what's happening here. Maybe not. I don't know why I'm tripping on this one. I don't know why I'm tripping on this one. But anywho, here's an 80-20, the 80-20 on the 15-minute time frame. I thought in my head that this one hit the D extension, but it did not. It came just shy of that level and then got the flip and pushed to the upside there. So on the 15-minute, that one's running a little further away from the TP1 level, but still in play, moving to the upside. All right. That is the move there. Right, so that one is also to the good 71 pips. Got a little bit more to go there. Any questions on this pound dollar? Nope, no questions. All right, cool deal. Cool deal. Boom. TP1. All right, so that is the pound dollar. 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna grab my notebook. All right, cool. So no questions on the pound dollar. Let's hop over and take a look at the Aussie CAD. Reese dropped a short-term setup into the Discord, which played out beautifully. And we still have our higher time frame setup lingering as well. So here on the 4-hour, here's an 80-20 on the 4, right? We're still caught in this range, trying to push back to the upside a bit now, which is fine, but we're just trapped here. Okay, so we'll continue to monitor this as it moves, but we're just trapped in a range right now, headed back to the top of that range. And we'll look for at some point price to turn back over and make its way down to that TP1 level. All right, so that 80-20 is still in play there. Coming down to the 1. Here we just got a deep retracement move and we're pressing back to the upside here. Okay. Down to Reese. Yours was on your original play was on the 30-minute time frame or the 15? Ba, 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 ba. 15. Got it. Coming down here to the 1. I'm sorry, to the 15. Move that respotted was here. Boom. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone, and then price just broke down. The beautiful scenario here. Appreciate you dropping that in, Reese. Right? Tighter stop there if you waited for that push to the upside in the break of the trend line. Right? Stop loss there. And your move to the downside here to TP1. Right? So great risk to reward set up there on the 15-minute time frame. Hope some folks were able to take advantage of that move. Boom. Right? So that was the 15-minute play to the downside. 68 pips to the support level and 68 pips to that TP1. So beautiful move down, and it continued to run through TP2. Right? TP2 was 99 pips to the good. So beautiful scenarios coming out of the weekend that popped up and are ready for us. So great work there, Reese. Reese just posted a 1-minute chart for those scalpers out there that are looking for some scalping opportunities. Boom. There you have it. 80-20 scenario on the 1-minute time frame, pushing into that zone, starting to get some consolidation and sideways push. So for you scalpers in the world, here you go. When we talk about doesn't matter the time frame, doesn't matter the asset class, this is exactly what we need. Boom. So there you go. Stop loss 11 pips, take profit 14 pips. Boom. Scalping opportunity for the scalpers out there. All right. Questions on the Aussie CAD? No. All right, cool deal. Reese, appreciate everybody because Joy, Dinette posted some charts as well. Appreciate those getting posted. Move this out of the way. Appreciate those getting posted for us and making that happen. All right, cool. So that's the Aussie CAD. Michelle, with the 15-minute dollar was the capital fib. Let me go back and look real quick. UJ. Um, I don't know where that chart went. I have to go back and take a look at that, Michelle, and see what my mix up was on that. Um, oh, Benny posted the capital fib on that one. Yep, yep, yep. You're right. I thought I posted that one, but I didn't. So cool. Yep, that was Benny that posted that one. Yep. Thank you for that. All right. So there we go there. So we can go back to that pound dollar real quick and look at that capital fib on the 15 that Benny posted, which is I was supposed to post that one and I didn't. That's probably what it was. Um, mm, mm, mm. Here, boom. There's the post that Benny made. Capital fib on the pound dollar and that shift out of this 8-6 retracement level price making its way to the matching D extension at 127,456. All right, so there's an ABCD wave working to make its way to its matching extension level. Boom. Okay, there you go. So that's just clean that up a bit there. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you. Let's take a look at some of these yen crosses. To get updated on them and where they're moving. So this Aussie yen, an interesting scenario from a daily time frame perspective, right? We're caught in this range, top of the range. We move to the bottom of the range. Now we're pushing back to the top side. Strong bullish move. We know from a capital fib perspective, we got a 50% retracement. So if we're able to break this monthly level at 98,444, we could head higher. We'll see how all of that plays out once we get there, right? That level is no longer needed. And there we go, right? Strong push to the upside. So coming down to the 4, there's that bounce back and forth. We run a fib off the high. Right, there's that ABCD wave back to the upside. We took out the A on this 4-hour fib. So that means we flip the direction and run them to the upside. Boom. So there we are. So we're overextended now, right? Pushing way past that D extension on the 4. So at some point we'll get a pullback and then likely get a continuation at least to that 98,444 level. Okay. All right, Joy. When I get to that euro yen, I want you to explain this beautiful mistake to me. It could be, Reese. It could be if that CAD CPI data comes in hot, it definitely could be a catalyst uh to push that Aussie CAD to the downside. It definitely could. Also, we got to keep an eye on that war in Israel. Um, there's concerns of it expanding to the Red Sea, through the Red Sea, and so they're changing shipping routes and things like that. So as oil also picks up, it could be a kind of a beautiful alignment with the uh, fears of expansion, along with the CPI data that could come together to give that CAD the fundamental catalyst that's needed to move it in the direction. So that's something we'll definitely keep an eye on. And we talked about this at the beginning of the war. If it expands, we could definitely see issues with oil, right? And we could see more restraints come, which would then push price to the upside. So that's definitely something to watch, and watch that in conjunction with that CPI data for sure. This Aussie yen on the 1 hour, right? We pulled back 786 retracement, and you see the extension. Boom. ABCD waves. ABCD waves. A, B, C, matching extension. D, right? Now we're waiting for a swing high to form. First swing high after the D extension is achieved will be our D, right? So beautiful move to the upside on the Aussie yen off the deep retracement and the extension, all in alignment with the fundamental data that came out. So there we have it there. David, good morning. What's happening?
Good morning. What are you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Just a simple question. How do I send my work to the Discord?
Um, you
My homework.
you should have got an email to get access to the Discord. So check your email.
I mean yeah, I got that. I mean the work
So
I'd like to.
you just post your chart in the main chat.
Okay. What's the procedure?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
From um the what I mean is when I send my work to you for it to get corrected,
Uh-huh.
how do I go by doing that?
Yep. So you go into the Discord, you go into the main inner circle chat,
Yeah.
and you click the plus button, and you can add your images there, and then you just
Go-
type your text in.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I'd have to take a snapshot.
Yes, sir. And
I'd have to take.
you can download Discord on your computer if you like.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. All right. Cool deal. Appreciate that. So there we are on that Aussie yen pushing to the upside. We'll look for a pullback and then a continuation to the upside there. All right. As we come down, ba, 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 ba. So we talk about runs on the yen, right? So here on the 15-minute, we just missed this 382, 95, 835, 95, 833. Just be cautious here, right? This is an 80-20 on the 15-minute time frame on this Aussie yen. Yes, looking for a pullback, but be cautious. We may not get back to that 382, right? So wait for your additional confirmations with that data or with that news from the Bank of Japan, right? We could see these yens run. So use additional confirmations if you're trading these retracements here, just as we've seen in the past, right? We could see that happen again in the short term. So just be cautious here. But here's an active 80-20 on the 15-minute. Use your additional confirmations and look for those to be met before entering the trade to the downside here. All right. There it is. Okay. That's the Aussie yen. Questions here. And all these made impulsive moves. So a retracement is likely, but it's just about how deep that retracement comes, right? So management of the trade once it starts moving is also going to be key for us. Okay. Questions on the Aussie yen? Oh, all right. Cool deal. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, doing pretty good. Pretty good. Super busy morning, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're on the go, dude. Um, I don't know if you had a chance to catch up on any news this morning, but anything top of mind for you if you did?
Not really. Just really the Japan news. I'm surprised by the market reaction. I didn't see where they gave any, you know, inkling that they were going to make a move, during their meeting.
So
Like
no,
the
they
BOJ.
didn't.
Like I don't.
And
You know what I
they
mean?
well, I think the market's response to this was basically that they're going to stay at this 1% the for a period of time is basically how they phrased it, right? Um, so I think it obviously emotional response, but they didn't even give any forward guidance on any potential changes that the market had been reading and talking about for the past month. So with them saying, and they also said if we need to, I forget the words that they used, but if they need to provide any more support, they'll do that as well. So it was more of a
Yeah.
dovish tone to the conversation,
Right.
which I think where this reaction came from.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I guess it just depends on what you read, whether you feed into what the market is trying to force them to do and what they're actually saying.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I guess it's speculation, right? It's a speculative market. So,
Yep. Yep.
see the
Yep.
reaction. I mean, it didn't surprise me, but I guess it surprised the market, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't surprise me either. But because they want them, like you said, what they want versus what they're actually doing. So
Yeah. So the
yeah,
games with the yen continues, I guess.
exactly.
That's what it
Exactly.
is. But
George says same
other
for
than
me.
that, other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Cool deal, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
All right. So that's the setup there on the Aussie end. We'll watch it and see, right? Like I said, wait on those additional confirmations for that retracement there. 152 pips back to that 382 if we're able to get there. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one. All right. Ba, 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 ba. Let's go to this Euro yen so I can hear Joy's story about this beautiful mistake that she made. Joy, talk to us.
What about?
What's the deal?
Yeah. So I didn't have my glasses on and I had took them off for a minute and I was looking at eChef chart and I was going in to play a little 5 minute pullback. And it wasn't eChef that I clicked on. It was Hero JPY. And I was like, when I realized it, I was like, well, wait a minute. Price looked like it's about to shift. And I went ahead and stayed in it. And it did its thing. I felt like I played the 3 digit and hit $1 straight.
Beautiful mistakes.
Yep.
Beautiful mistakes. But your assessment of whatever you saw was on point.
It
Hit it
was
wrong chart.
it was coming out of a 80-20 because I had the 80-20 marked up and I want to say it was a sub field. It was a sub
Uh-huh.
field. And basically all it did was it came off support. Um so
On
yeah.
that 1 hour.
I was looking at the 4, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So here we go, right? Daily time frame. We know we're in this 80-20 scenario. Haven't got to that 382 yet, but here's our pullback, right? What we could potentially see here is crown action. We took out the low, broke the trend line, took out the low. Now we're pulling back. So we'll see if we foresee that right tip and then see if we get a collapse to happen. Right? We'll see. We'll see. But that's what we could be in for is a crown pattern on this daily time frame on this euro yen. So we'll watch for that as well as we move through. Coming down to the 4. Here we are. Here's our pullback. Right? Pushing back into deeper into the zone on this fib. Right? Starting to get some hesitation. We'll see how the market responds going forward, right? We'd also understand what's happening in the Eurozone, got mixed data. We'll see what happens to see if this turns over and starts making its way back down or if we get a continued rise here as well, right? But we're in deep retracement zone. Need to wait for additional confirmation on this turnover as well. All right. So we'll watch that from a 4-hour perspective coming down to the 1, right? This was 80-20 from last week, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Boom, hit TP2, got a pullback, and then we took off, right? So we took out the A on that 1-hour fib, and then we just flip it. So here we are again, right? Just shy of this D extension. Again, with caution, right? Watch this and see what happens. We could see another push to the upside to get to that D extension there. We're really, really close. So just watch that with care. Okay. Got a 382 off the wick. Boom. And then we roll. So that D extension will likely get hit. And then we'll see how much further we rise to the upside. Okay. So we'll watch that and see when this retracement is ready and comes into play for us. Okay. But got a deep retracement here on the 4. We come down to the 15. And this is where we could potentially see the 80-20 come into play here. All right. We got a shallow retracement, another push to the upside, right? Looking at that 1 hour, hit that D extension on the 1, right? And push us into that 118, 127 zone, that 8-6 retracement level potentially on the 4 hour, right? So if we get another push to the upside, this could potentially give us the 80-20 that we would like to see here. Okay, so we'll watch this and see if we get a reaction and then a low price potentially to continue moving long in the short term. Okay. So we'll look for that type of action there on the euro yen if it develops for us. All right. So that's the euro yen. Any questions here? Nope. All right. Cool deal. CAD yen running long. All right. Running long. Again, another one trapped in the range. Top of the range, bottom of the range, making our way back up. All right. We'll see what happens as we're currently retesting his previous support levels here on the daily time frame. Right. We'll see if this gives us a pullback, but looking for a price likely to get at least back to this 110,767 level, top of that range, if we don't break it and continue to the matching D extension, right, at some point early in the year. So we'll watch and see what happens as we continue to move north here. Coming down to the 4, right, there's that AB boundary on the 4, right, sitting at an 8-6 retracement level now. We'll see if we continue to push long, take out that A, which could happen. Okay. Down on the 1, right? That long wick, and then the push to the upside. So ultimately looking for this to continue long, right? Continue long. We might get a pullback, retest the B boundary, but looking for this to continue moving to the upside there. Okay. Coming down to the 15, similar to that euro yen, right? If we get a push into the 118 and 127 zone, that might give us a 15-minute 80-20 scenario for the short, and then a continuation to the upside. Okay, so let's watch and see how these develop throughout the day today to see if we get that type of action and that move to the upside, and see how the market opens as well and takes in the data and the conversation from the Bank of Japan. Okay, questions on this CAD yen?
Nope.
Cool deal. Swiss yen, this one's going to be interesting. All right, this one is going to be interesting for a couple reasons. So we just missed the 118 and 127 zone here on that original push down, right? Strong move to the upside. We know the Swissy, they held rates. They're looking at staying where they are and backing off their foreign currency reserves. So we'll see how it responds here, but we're retesting the strong bearish move to the downside, right? Coming down to the daily, we know we have this fresh AB boundary. We just wicked that 382 on the push down, right? This red line, 176, 321, is that monthly D extension. So I don't know that we get that high, but we'll see. We'll see. What I'm looking at first is how we respond at this level, right? We're retesting the strong bearish move to the downside. I want to see how we respond at the top of this range here, right? Right at this red line, right? Previous support levels and resistance levels. So I want to see how the market responds here and if we start to stall here and move back down, right? So I'm watching that one closer to see what happens there from that perspective. Coming down to the 4, right? We know we had that beautiful 80-20 700, almost 800 pips to the downside there. Now we're moving back long, right? And this is that level that was on the daily time frame. We want to see what happens in this consolidation zone as we retest it, right? Do we retest this zone and stay below, or do we break through it and continue moving long? That's my question for this. All right. So something that I'm watching there, see how the market responds as we push into that area. Okay. Coming down to the one, I got fibs running a couple directions here, right? That's the capital fib AB boundary. We're pushing deeper into that zone, right? So we'll see what happens as we get there. And I also ran a sub fib to the upside just to track the wave. So we're overextended, right? So a retracement likely to come. So look for that retracement and then see if we get continuation to the upside here. Okay, so we're watching that closely to see what happens as we get into that zone, right? And you see that consolidation a little bit more clearly here on the 1 hour, right? This is that red line that was on the daily time frame. See those support levels and how price just range there. So that's why that has my eye. I want to see what happens when we get there, right? And maybe we have a retracement early and then push into that zone. Maybe we get an 80-20 scenario that develops there that puts us in line for a potential short opportunity. So we'll watch all of that and see what happens. And then down on the 15, oh, this is the 30, what we're running here, boom, right? Overextended there as well. And on your 15, right? Similar scenario to the others, right? We've already broken the B boundary there. See if we push into this 118 and 127 zone, into that zone, that consolidation zone that we mapped out, and then see if we get our confirmations to be met for a retracement opportunity. Okay. All right. So obviously all of them are lining up the same. So we'll see what that cycle looks like as we move through the day to day. Okay. Questions on the Swiss yen. Oh, all right. Cool deal. And then the pound yen. Same story. Right. Let's pull these out. From our trend line talk. Boom. Right. So on the daily, we hit that support level. Now we're pushing back long. So here we might have an opportunity in the future for a head and shoulders pattern. All right. We'll see if this right shoulder develops, right? Break that daily resistance level, right? And see if we get a right shoulder to develop and look something like that. So we'll watch and see how deep this retracement goes here. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So we'll see. We'll see. Just something that immediately catches my eye. That support level held. Now we're pushing to the upside. Okay. So moving along there on the daily time frame, coming down to the 4. There you have it, right? We wicked the 382 there, tried to come back. So we'll see what happens as we continue to move forward here and see how deep that retracement goes. Okay, so as we run a fib off the high, boom, there we are. All right, so we already got a deep retracement. We'll see how deep that retracement goes and if we take out the A there before getting that turnover and push back down to the downside. Okay, so we'll monitor that from that perspective. Then coming down to the 1. Got a lot of mumbo jumbo happening. Okay. Won't allow me to click. There we go. So pressing back to the upside, right? Net breakdown didn't continue. Boom. Pressing back to the upside, right? So again, we'll see how deep that retracement goes from that perspective. And we're overextended on this sub fib running to the upside. Okay. Same scenario down here on the 30-minute time frame. Got an AB boundary, right? We will see what happens on the push to the upside. See if we push into that 118, 127 zone, and see if we get alignment for a short. We'll see, right? It may or may not happen. And then on your 15, there you go. Right. So same story on these yens. On the lower time frames, they're pushing into these zones. Higher time frames are pushing deep retracement levels on capital fib. So we'll see how this cycle goes as we go throughout the day. So that is the pound yen. Questions here? No.
No, sir.
All right. We'll do. So update on those yens. Let's take a look at oil real quick. Oil is trying to make its move. Boom. Right, this is the 1 hour setup, 80-20, lingered in the zone, pushed, almost got to that D extension, and then we got the turnover, right? And then with the news yesterday of shippers changing their routes, moving out of the Red Sea because of concerns of expansion, you got the push up and then a retracement. Okay, so we'll watch to see if we can get price to go ahead and move to the TP1 level and potentially further. Right, but that 80-20 is now playing out on oil, pushing to the upside there. All right, so beautiful scenario, took its time. This is where we are from a daily time frame perspective. Right, deep retracement, 8-6, just shy of that A boundary. Weren't able to take that out, and now we're turning over. So next level to watch as we continue moving up. See if we get to 79-73. Right, it'll be our third touch at that level. See if we're able to break that. If we do, then we'll look at those 90s. Right, we'll look at high 80s, 90s as far as oil goes, and see if we're able to push to the matching D extension at 88.09. All right, so oil moving to the upside. We'll look to see that continue at least in the short term, and then we'll see if the fundamentals align for us for a longer term move. But this is what I was talking about, Reese. Right, so as oil turns over, and if that aligns with that CAD CPI data, there's 80-20 on the 4. If that CPI data also aligns, we could see that CAD definitely pick up some strength. Definitely could. And if those concerns of expansion of the war can increase, right, it could definitely continue to drive that. Okay. Questions on oil? All right, 80-20 on the 1 hour and 80-20 on the 4 hour. Move to the upside. No? Okay. Benny, you got your eyes on any pairs, bro?
Did you already cover the Euro USD and the pound dollar?
I did not cover the Euro USD. My bad. Yep. Thank you for that reminder. I
No
did cover the
problem.
pound dollar though. Yep.
Okay.
Euro USD, right? Set up on the 15-minute time frame. Boom. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone coming out of Saturday. Move to the upside. TP2 achieved. Beautiful scenario, right? So now we look to see, right? Could we continue moving to the upside here? Right? We'll watch and see how that goes. So coming back to the daily time frame, walk all the way through here, right? Top of the range, we had a strong bullish move up, pulled back, and now we're pushing to the upside here. So we'll see if we just take back some of that move and continue to the downside, as that Euro data is interesting to follow, right? We also had here on the 4, double top, and then the push down. So we'll see what happens and see if we get that continuation to the downside after that retracement. Coming down to the 1, here you are, the 1, right? You had an 8-6 retracement, and you're moving long. So it'll be interesting to see how deep this move goes, right? So we'll watch that and see how it goes, right? But the move was on the 15th. Boom. Right? Beautiful scenario. Another 50 pips to the good coming out of the Saturday ritual. Okay. Questions on the euro dollar. Oh, all right. Now I didn't also look at the dollar CAD.
Yeah. Did you cover the dollar yen already?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Let's look at this dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, here's the scenario. Boom. Wick that 118 level. Just consolidating. We got a push yesterday and we're pulling back into the zone. So we'll watch this to see if we're able to turn over and continue moving to the upside. We'll watch that Canadian data. This will be interesting to see how this one moves. Haven't gotten a push just yet, but that was your trend line break. Now we're pulling back. If we don't make a lower low, right, then we'll look for that move. But you see prices pushing to the downside here. So that consolidation could potentially continue. We'll watch that closely there. Coming back to the daily. Let's clean this up and look at it and see where we are. Boom. Well, it makes sense. Daily time frame. 36 185. Excuse me. 36 179. Yep. So we're just shy of this 80-20 on the daily time frame as well here. I'm just shy of this 382 on the daily time frame. And we're hovering in this 118 127 zone. So we'll watch this as well from a daily time frame perspective to see if we get this move back to the upside to get to this 136 293 level. So daily 80-20 as well, along with that lower time frame. So down to the 4. We also have it here on the 4. Right? Just missed that D extension. Push up, pull them back. So we could have alignment on all time frames here. We'll see. That Canadian data will be interesting, right? If it gives strength to the Canadian dollar or not in this scenario. So this is one that we'll watch closely and see if we get confirmation to the upside here. Because we got daily, 4 hour, and 1 hour. Interesting. Yeah, let's watch this one, guys. Let's watch this one and see if we get that move to the upside here, right? See if we make our way back to the top there. So keep your eyes on that dollar cat from multiple perspectives. I missed those higher time frame ones. So they were on the dollar cat. Questions here.
Nope.
Cool deal. Anything else, bro?
No, that's it, man. You know me this time of the year. Only a few things out
Mhm.
there. Things starting to wrap up. The holiday season, so starting to get ready for next year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Team, you guys got any questions before we wrap things up? On cat. Take a look at it real quick. Time frame looking at Joy.
I am looking at my question is on the daily. And I know we're waiting on CAD news, but I was looking to see if that was going to end up like being a low high.
You already got a swing high here.
And the reason why I asked, because I have a daily, maybe because it broke it. It was breaking the daily. resistance area just then that I still had it marked. But it's starting to, when you put, I don't know why when you pull your charts up, it look different than mine is. But I was looking for a short-term buy on the 1 hour.
Okay.
I want to say, and I was playing off support.
It'll be interesting to see. This one has been wild, right? It's been a wild ride. So we definitely could have a buy opportunity, right? So here on the 4, you got your 618. Came just shy of that 786 level, right? So, and obviously we're pushing to the upside. Now, we could see price move to the upside. You're looking
Because
for
I
it here
had
on
a
the
trend,
1.
I had my daily trend line down, and it basically crossed over that trend line. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to, and that would have been like the outermost trend line, and I don't want to confuse myself into remaining bullish when it started, if it's actually turning over short.
So from an
And
80-20
this,
perspective, this is the 80-20 you're looking at?
yep,
Yeah, so we're almost at TP1 now, right? Um, I wouldn't buy it now.
I'm already
If
in it.
Oh, you're already in it? Okay. I would just
Mhm.
manage your trade, right? Just manage the trade here. Maybe we get a pullback and you get a crown pattern and you get a further move, a deeper retracement there. Yeah, if you're already in it, I just manage your trade there because that's a beautiful scenario, right? Beautiful
Mhm.
scenario. Shallow retracement push into the zone. Yeah, that's a great move. Great eye on that. Now it's just about management, right? Move that stop loss and the profit. That's 108 pips. Heck yeah.
Mhm.
Right. So now it's just about management and that data is 8:30.
And then
Maybe take some of it off the table if you're in it more than
Yeah,
more
I
intensely.
like I like the pounds long right now because of the hawkish stance that they took.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
the Bank of England. So that, you know, like you said, it's a wild pair. You know, depending on what the cat data is, but overall with the pounds, you know, they're looking pretty strong right now coming out of that last meeting for the Bank of England. When you're talking about the rate, you know, the rate interest rate situations where some people are coming off, you know, like the United States, a little bit more dovish, you know, and then you've got the UK saying, hey, we're holding rates where they are, but they took a hawkish stance in regards to their forward guidance. So
Yeah.
that one may continue to rock and roll to the upside. We'll see though.
Okay. Because
Cool deal.
I was being slick. And one account I got that 80-20. And I haven't, I moved to TP a little bit. Um, but I am also in a sale, and I had to put it on a different account. I'm in the sale, and I'm 30 pips in the clear. But I got myself confused, and I shouldn't have did that because I thought I erased that 80-20 sale.
Yeah. I
And I
got
think
you.
what I was calling myself doing was playing it back down to the daily trend line I got and play it back off support. I know that's what my attention is because that's what I have a tendency to do when playing off of support. I play off the trend back the trend lines when it started to turn over a little bit. But when I looked at the daily and I started thinking about the cat news, then that's when I started second guessing myself. So I just wanted to straighten myself out.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely understood. Definitely understood. Just get clear on how you're doing that so that you can remove that confusion. Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to writing on my charts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So cool deal. Hey, that's a good move though.
Yep.
All right. All right, good people. We will be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Watch the data, be patient, be patient, be patient. Allow for those additional confirmations. You guys have a phenomenal day. We'll see you in the morning. Peace.